Welcome to the fifth lecture of module 4 of mass transfer operation. In this module we are discussing absorption mass transfer. Before going to this lecture, let us have brief recap on our previous lecture. In our previous lecture we have discussed three important things. One is design based on HETP method, height equivalent to a theoretical plate, HETP method. And second thing, we have considered how to simplify the general procedure for designing a packed towers and how to simplify the packed tower design equation to calculate the height of packing required for the dilute gases. So, design for packed towers for dilute gases. The third thing we have considered here, the packed tower design for concentrated gases. In this lecture, we will mostly consider on the design of plate towers and both for the single component absorption and also for introduction to the multi component system. Now, let us consider absorption in tray towers. As we have introduced during the discussion of our equipment for absorption and distillation process, there are two major towers, one is packed towers, another is tray towers or tray absorber. So, in this case, in tray absorber, to find out the number of ideal trays, we can use, there is a special kind of design procedure which is known as McCabe-Thiele diagram type. So, you can see over here in the packed towers, the liquid which enter at the top having this composition and the gases which enter at the bottom and which is in this composition, and also the gas flow rate and liquid flow rate, both gases of the inlet liquid and gas are mentioned over here. And we have a outlet liquid at the bottom and outlet gas at the top, both the flow rates and their compositions are mentioned. And trays are numbered from the top of the column 1, 2, 3 up to NP. So, as you can see from this is counter current absorber. So, we will mostly consider counter current absorber design over here for the plate columns. The McCabe-Thiele diagram is most useful when the operating line is straight. If the operating line are straight, this is easier to do the graphical calculation of number of ideal trays. So, for this we need to require some assumptions, that is the energy balances be automatically satisfied and liquid flow rate by vapor flow rate remains constant. So, their ratio remains constant L by G. Now, in order for energy balance to be automatically satisfied, we must assume that the heat of absorption is negligible. So, very negligible heat of absorption. There is reactions between the solvent and the solute because of the solubility of a certain component based on the affinity of the solvent, it generates huge amount of heat. Then we cannot use this type of method. Only the cases where heat of absorption is negligible, then only this energy balance would be automatically satisfied and operation should be isothermal in nature. These two assumptions will guarantee satisfaction of the enthalpy balance equation when the gas and liquid streams are both fairly dilute the assumptions will probably be satisfied. So, basically when we have a dilute gas mixture and the solute transfer is negligible. So, the change of heat due to the absorption is very less and we can consider the isothermal operation of the column. Now, it is usually convenient for Trey towers to define the flow rates L and G simply as mole per hour rather than based on the unit tower cross section, and we also desire a straight operating line. So, this is the things we need. This will automatically true if we define L by G is equal to moles of non-volatile solvent per hour divided by moles of insoluble carrier gas per hour. So, this is L by G, and if we assume that the solvent is non-volatile and carrier gas is insoluble. So, if we have a mixture of say certain component like oxygen and nitrogen, and now we consider nitrogen is inert, for the solvent nitrogen is insoluble and oxygen is only soluble, then the other case if we take a solvent which does not vaporize or it considered essentially non-volatile in nature, then this energy balance will be automatically satisfied or L by G remains constant. The result of these last two assumptions are that the mass balances for the solvents. So, the liquid flow rates remain constant throughout the column. So, you can see, so L 0 which is entering at the top, then at any section of the column J is L j and would be equal to L n p which is coming out, and we can call it L as constant. Similarly, the mass balances for the carrier gas G n p plus 1 which is entering here, and then it is G j at this location, and then G 1 at the first plate, and then G which is coming out over here. This is the gas flow rate which is coming out at the exit at top of the column. So, that remains constant. Then the derivation for this figure we can write inlet stream L is L naught and the inlet G stream is G n p plus 1. So, L naught and G n p plus 1, that is the inlet conditions, instead of G 2 as for the single stage. Like in single stage we use G 2. So, instead of G n p plus 1. So, bottom we mentioned position 2 and top as position 1. So, instead of that it is G n p plus 1. The product outlet streams is G 1 over here, and instead of L n p which is over here, the total number of stages here is considered n p, which is numbered from top 1 to n p. So, total number of stages is n p. Now, if we do the overall balance on all stages throughout the column, the inlet is L naught and G n p plus 1. So, this one, and the exit which is L n p and G 1. So, this is the overall material balance on all stages. Now, if we do the component balance for the species, so of the solute with the inlet liquid we have L naught x naught, and similarly with the inlet gases is plus G n p plus 1 into Y capital Y n p plus 1. So, which is over here. So, this is the inlet and the exit composition is L n p into x n p, that is over here, and then multiplied by G 1 into capital Y 1. So, this is the overall component balance. Now, making a total material balance over first n stages, if we consider any stage n from top, then if we do that, it would be L naught plus G n plus 1 would be equal to L n plus G 1. Now, making a component balance over that section of the column for the first n stages. So, we would obtain L naught x naught plus G n plus 1 into capital Y n plus 1 is equal to L n x n plus G 1 Y 1. So, this is equation 4. Now, if we solve for this equation, so this is our equations we have done for the first n stages component balance. Now, if we solve for y n plus 1, we can write y n plus 1 would be equal to L n x n plus G 1 y 1 minus L naught x naught by G n plus 1. So, this is an important material balance equation and it is often called an operating line. So, you can see the operating line has an intercept over here with the known composition G 1 y 1 minus L naught x naught by G n plus 1. This is the slope of the curve into x n. Now, if we apply the assumptions that the above equations becomes y n plus 1 is equal to L by G x n plus y 1 minus L by G x naught. So, this is equation 6 and this is a straight line with the slope L by G. Now, intercept, as we said, intercept is this part y 1 minus L by G x naught, and thus if we plot y versus x, we have a McCabe-Thiele type of graph as shown in the figure over here. So, we have the equilibrium curve, this one is equilibrium curve and this is either Ls by Gs or essentially we can call it L by G. With this slope we have this operating line, this is the operating line equation, and then to find out the number of plates we need to follow the certain steps. Plot y versus x equilibrium data, convert into mole fraction to ratios, at you can see capital Y and capital X, these are plotted over here in mole ratio unit, and then values of x naught y n p plus 1, y 1 and L by G are known. So, all these points, these are the inlet composition for the liquid, this is inlet composition for the gas, this is exit composition for the gas and L by G, these are known. So, the point x naught y 1 that is known on this point. So, operating line, since it represents the passing streams. So, this is known to us, and then slope L by G we know. So, with that we can plot the operating line. We have plotted the equilibrium line here and we can plot the operating line with this data. Then we can calculate the number of stage. Now, starting from this point, so this is the passing streams at every point or mixing point, we can say that at mixing point, and from here what it reaches at a particular plate, it reaches to the equilibrium for the ideal stages. So, from these passing streams, so we need to proceed to the equilibrium line. So, this represents one equilibrium stage or one ideal stage. So, from the mixing point for a particular tray and it moves to the, if you move to the equilibrium line, and this is one tray. So, this is the first tray. Now, from this what will happen, this composition with x 1 liquid and the gases which will pass through that liquid you having the composition of Y2. So, you move to the operating line and then you move to the equilibrium curve with the. So, this is the another mixing point and then you move to the equilibrium curve. So, these two represents the second stage. So, now in similar way if you just make the staircase arrangement from this mixing point you go to the equilibrium line and go to the operating line, this represents one equilibrium stage. So, similarly you can plot till the exit concentration is reached, and then when you reach the bottom tray composition you need to stop to find out the number of trays required. So, which is NP over here shown over here. So, this is NP number of stages and you can see it reaches the bottom of the tower composition which is Y NP plus 1 and X NP. So, this way we can find out graphically using the McCabe-Thiele type of diagram to calculate the number of ideal stage required for a particular separation. Let us consider an example to solve this type of problem. So, ammonia is to be absorbed from a air mixture countercurrently in a plate column with fresh water. Ammonia concentration is reduced from 10 mole percent to 1 mole percent and the inlet water and gas rates are respectively 500 and 400 kg per meter square second. Now, we need to calculate the number of actual plate required for an absorber. Now, equilibrium data for the system is given at 20 degree centigrade and 1 atmosphere pressure. It is given capital X and capital Y, these are given, and the molar masses of air, ammonia and water, they are given 29, 17 and 18 kg per k mole. Now, plate efficiency is given 70% for all plates in the column. So, now we need to calculate the actual number of plates required for this separation. Now, the equilibrium data for the system at 20 degree centigrade and 1 atmosphere pressure is given. Now, assume that the solubility of air in water is negligible compared to the solubility of ammonia. So, air is considered as a inert carrier gas with respect to ammonia and it is insoluble in water. So, the compared to the solubility of ammonia, molecular weight of the inlet gas we can calculate. So, which is 90% of air. So, it is 0.9 into 29 plus 10% of ammonia which is 0.1 into 17. So, it is 27.8 kg per k mole. Now, we can calculate G1 which is at the exit stream of top of the column which is 400 divided by 27, average molecular weight is 27.8. So, it is 14.39 kilomole per meter square second. Now, of this total we have 90% is air. So, 90% would be 12.95 kilomole per meter square second is air. Now, ammonia in the feed stream is 14.39 into 0.1 is the mole fraction of ammonia in the feed stream. So, it is 1.439 kilomole per meter square second. So, ammonia in the feed stream and then this G2, the gas flow rate G2 would be 12.95 plus 1.439 into 0.1. So, it is 13.09 kilomole per meter square second. The inlet liquid is pure water. So, L2 would be 500 by 18. So, which is equal to 27.78 kilomole per meter square second. So, L1 would be equal to L2 plus G1 minus G2. So, which is essentially 27.78 and 14.39 is your G1 and then G2 is 13.09 So, if we substitute here, so it would be 29.09 kilomole per meter square second. So, we have the data G1, L1 and G2 and L2. Now, compare liquid and gas flow rates at both top and bottom before deciding if the system is dilute or not. So, if we look into that L2 by G2, it is around 27.78 by 13.09, which is 2.12. Similarly, L1 by G1, if we divide 29.09 divided by 14.39, which is 2.02. So, if the average, if we take average L by G would be 2.12 plus 2.02 divided by 2, which is 2.07. So, essentially L by G is almost close to each other and we can assume they are constants. So, these values are close enough to justify an approximation of the liquid to gas ratio of 2.07 throughout the column. And Y1 is known, it is 0.1 because 10% ammonia, and Y2 is 0.01 because it is 1% ammonia in the exit stream. So, that has to be reduced from 10 mole percent of ammonia to 1 mole percent of ammonia. Now, liquid solvent, which is water, contains no solute at the entry, solvent is solute free. So, X2 is 0. Capital Y1 we can calculate, which is equal to small y1 divided by 1 minus y1, which is 0.1 divided by 1 minus 0.1, which is 0.12. And similarly, y2 we can calculate is equal to small y2 divided by 1 minus y2, and which is essentially 0.01 divided by 1 minus 0.01, and which is essentially 0.0101. So, mole ratio unit capital Y1 and capital Y2 is known. Now, average L by G into x1 minus x2 would be equal to Y1 minus Y2. This is from the species mole balance. If we substitute average L by G, which is 2.07 into x1 minus x2 would be equal to 0.12 minus 0.0101. From here, and also as the entries the solvent is solute free, so it is x2 would be essentially 0. We will have x1 minus x2 would be this, x1 would be 0.053. So, x1 is now calculated, capital X1 and capital X2 is known. When drawn on the graph, the gap between the operating line and the equilibrium data gives 3.5 theoretical plates. So, you can just look into the graph and you have the initial point, which is capital X naught, which is basically x2 is 0, y1 which is over here. So, this is y1. So, this point is known, and final composition it will go to 0.053, 0.053. So, you start from here and then move to the equilibrium curve from the mixing point. So, this is one equilibrium stage, then move to the operating line and again move to the equilibrium curve. So, you will have another ideal stages and similar procedure you can follow. So, you will have another the third stage and then you can move and you can go to the exit stream composition, that is 0.053, and we can consider it half plate from the graph. So, essentially you will get 3.5 stage. Now, as the efficiency for the plate is 70%, so the number of real trays required. So, each plate is having the efficiency of 0.7, 70% efficiency. The ideal plate divided by 0.7 is the actual plate required to perform this job. So, essentially it will give 5 actual plates needed for this separation. So, this is how we can use the McCabe-Thiele method to calculate the number of ideal plates, and then we can calculate number of actual plate required for a given job. Let us move to the absorption in tray towers for multi-component absorption as also stripping. Now, when the gas contains several soluble components or the liquid contains several volatile ones, for stripping some modifications are needed. So, we cannot use the same method as we have done for the single component systems. The computational are to be started at the bottom of the tower. So, we have to start the computation at the bottom of the tower, and the outlet liquid temperature and the composition must be known. That is required to start the calculation for the multi component system. So, in this case it requires the outlet gas temperature be estimated. So, based on this known outlet liquid and composition, we can calculate the outlet gas temperature. So, which is going at the top. So, our calculation starts at the bottom, where we need the outlet liquid exit for counter current absorption tower, the liquid exit at the bottom. So, its temperature and composition is known. If we proceed to the gas exit at the top of the column, then we need to estimate the temperature which is going out at top of the tower. So, to complete the enthalpy balance, it also requires that the complete outlet gas composition with respect to all components be estimated at the start. If that is there, so then we can complete the enthalpy balance equation. The quantity which are generally fixed for this design are the rate of flow, composition and temperature of the entering gas. The second thing which is fixed is composition and temperature of the entering liquid, not the liquid flow rate. The pressure of operation at which it will be operated, and the heat gain or loss. Under these circumstances, the principal variables still remaining, which are highlighted here, the liquid flow rate or the L by G ratio, either liquid flow rate or L by G ratio should be remaining, which has to be estimated. The number of ideal trays required for the separation, and then the fractional absorption of any one component. Since it is multi-component absorption or stripping, the fractional absorption of a particular component has to be known, or it is a principal variable over here. So, now among these three, if any two can be arbitrarily fixed for a given design, so when the two have been specified, the third is automatically fixed. So, now out of these three variables, if we can decide any two, the third will be automatically fixed. So, as a result, for tray to tray calculation, outlet temperature and the complete outlet composition is to be checked. So, we need to have a arbitrarily fixed design parameters. We need to have an approximate procedure to get those data to be fixed, and this is provided through an approximate procedure offered by the Kremser equation. So, Kremser equation apply for constant absorption factor as we have discussed before, and or through some procedure which allow the variation of the absorption factor with tray number, either constant absorption factor or there would be some procedure which will allow the variation of the absorption factor from tray to tray, and it is for each component. So, over here this is a multi-tray absorber or stripper, similar to the one we have shown earlier. Since all components can transfer between the gas and liquid, so there may be no substance which passes through a constant rate. So, because all the substances are transferring from one phase to the other. So, the constant rate for each substance may not be there. So, that is why it is very convenient if we define the gas composition in terms of the entering gas and entering liquid. So, all the composition if we can define with the entering gas and liquid composition which are known to us, then it would be easier to compute. Thus, for any component in liquid leaving any tray n, so over here we can define x n dash is the mole of component in tray n divided by the moles of liquid entering. So, no moles of component no particular component in tray n if we consider x n and with a liquid flow rate L n divided by L naught is the entering liquid feed flow rate. So, this is x n dash. Similarly, for the gas it is capital Y n dash would be equal to small y n g n divided by g n p plus 1. So, this is x n dash and y n dash, these are defined based on the inlet flow rate which is known for the liquid and the gas. So, small x n and small y n are the usual mole fractions over here. Now, consider the tray absorber as shown over here, and if we do a material balance for any component about the equilibrium tray n. So, this one, so we can write L naught x n dash minus x n minus 1 dash would be equal to g n p plus 1 into y n plus 1 dash minus y n dash. So, this is the material balance for any component about an equilibrium tray n. Now, the equilibrium relation for the equilibrium tray n is, we can write small y n would be equal to m n x n. So, now if we substitute equation 1 and equation 2 in equation 4, equation 1 and equation 2 is basically the mole ratio we have calculated based on the known inlet flow rates. So, if we substitute in equation 4 over here, so we will essentially get capital Y n dash g n p plus 1 by g n would be equal to m n x n dash into L naught by L n. Now, similarly for n minus 1 tray, we can write y n minus 1 dash g n p plus 1 by g n minus 1 would be equal to m n minus 1 into x n minus 1 into L naught by L n minus 1. Now, from equation 5 and 6, so this is equation 5 and this is equation 6. So, from 5 and 6 we can write x n dash would be equal to y n dash g n p plus 1 divided by m n g n into L n by L naught, and x n minus 1 dash would be equal to y n minus 1 dash g n p plus 1 divided by m n minus 1 into g n minus 1 whole into L n minus 1 by L naught. After rearrangement of these two equations, we can write this. Now, if we substitute x n dash and x n minus 1 dash in equation 3 and then we rearrange the same. So, this is x n dash and this is x n minus 1 dash as we have derived before. This is the equation 3. Now, if we substitute these two, it will give y n dash would be equal to y n plus 1 dash plus a n minus 1 into y n minus 1 dash divided by 1 plus a n. In this case, a n is equal to L n by m n g n and a n minus 1 is L n minus 1 by m n minus 1 into g n minus 1. So, these are the component of absorption factors on two trays for a n and a n minus 1. So, nth tray absorption factor and n minus 1 trayth absorption factor. For absorber which contains only one tray, if n is equal to 1, so equation 7 becomes This is equation 7, and from this we can write it is y 1 dash would be equal to y 2 dash plus a naught into y naught dash divided by 1 plus a 1. So, just substitute n with 1, then from 7 we can get equation 8. Now, from equation 6, when n is equal to 1, we can write. So, this is the equation 6, and when n is equal to 1, we can get y naught dash would be equal to m naught x naught dash L naught by L naught into G naught by G n p plus 1, which is equal to m naught x naught dash G naught by G n p plus 1. We can now write a naught y naught dash is equal to L naught by m naught G naught into m naught x naught dash G naught divided by G n p plus 1, which is equal to L naught x naught dash divided by G n p plus 1. So, substituting this equation 10 in equation 8 over here, if we substitute, then we will obtain equation 11, which is y 1 dash would be equal to y 2 dash plus L naught x naught dash divided by G n p plus 1 by 1 plus a 1. So, this is y 1 dash, and then similarly if we just proceed for 2 trace. So, we will just substitute in the same equation 7 with n is equal to 2, and essentially you will obtain y 2 dash. This is the substitute equation 11 in equation 12, which we have obtained. This is equation 11 which we have derived for y 1 dash. So, substitute this y 1 dash into this. So, you will essentially obtain this relation equation 13, and similarly for 3 trait tower n is equal to 3, and you will obtain the equation 14. So, as you can see, it will be y 3 dash would be equal to a 1 a 2 plus a 2 plus 1 y 4 dash plus a 1 a 2 a naught into L naught into x 0 x naught dash divided by G n p plus 1 divided by a 1 a 2 into a 3 plus a 2 into a 3 plus a 3 plus 1. So, similarly for n p trace n is equal to n p for all the trace in a tray column of n p number of trace, if we substitute, you will obtain y n p dash. So, which is based on the inlet gas composition and the liquid composition with the absorption factor, we can relate with them. So, in order to eliminate y n p over here, which is inside the absorber, a component material balance about the entire absorber is required. So, which is over here. So, this is the entire absorption tower component balance, and if n is equal to n p in equation 5, then we can write this is y n p dash. So, this is the equation, and then from equation 16 and 17, this is equation 16 and 17, eliminate x n p and substitute y n p dash in equation 17. So, this is equation 17, and if we do the rearrangements of using equation 15. So, we will have the equation 18, which is free from any composition inside the column. So, this equation 18 over here. So, this equation this is is an expression for the fractional absorption of any components, because it is based only upon the material balance and the condition of equilibrium which defines an ideal tray. A similar expression for the stripper would be like this: S 1 and S 2 up to S n p and S n p minus 1, these are the stripping factor and just inverse of the absorption factor, and this is also based on the liquid compositions outside the tower. So, in order to use equation 18 and 19, what we need the L by G ratio for each tray and the tray temperature, which determines the M's, the equilibrium, the Henry's constant, and it is also required to compute AS and SS, that is absorption factor and stripping factor. If the liquid are not ideal, M for any component on any tray additionally depends upon the complete liquid composition. So, if liquid are not ideal, that will also depend on the complete liquid composition on that tray. The same is true for the gas composition under condition for which the gas solutions are not ideal. So, if also the gas phase are not ideal, not only liquid, the same features will also valid for the it depends on the gas composition as well. The equations are therefore practically useful only for the ideal solutions. So, this should be remembered that this is practically useful only for ideal solutions. Now, in order to simplify the computation, Edmiston has written the Horton-Franklin equation in terms of the average or effective absorption and stripping factor instead of variable AS and SS. So, absorption factor and stripping factor for each tray. So, if we can use the average absorption factor or stripping factor, then it would be simplify the computation. Thus, for the absorption equation 18, which becomes like this is equation 18 and this can be written as like this, y n p plus 1 dash minus y 1 dash divided by y dash n p plus 1 would be equal to 1 minus L naught x naught dash divided by a dash g n p plus 1 into y n p plus 1 and whole into a e to the power n p plus 1 minus a e divided by a e to the power n p plus 1 minus 1. So, a e is the average or effective absorption factor over here. Similarly, for a 2 tray absorber, it develops this equation and effective absorption factor or average absorption factor can be defined like this. Similarly, for stripping we can obtain this relation by using the average stripping factor and S dash can be written over here. So, this is for the stripping column design and this is for the plate towers using effective absorption factor and this is for the tray column design for multi component systems. And AC is the effective stripping factor which is given over here after the simplification. With this method, the simplified design which is presented over here for the multi component systems and this is only valid for the ideal solutions. These are basically the simplified procedure and you can learn more on the if it is non ideal system both gas and liquid phase and how to do the computation for that. So, thank you for attending this lecture. We will continue our discussion on the mass transfer operation for the next module, which is module 5 and that would be our final module for distillation.